What's going on, fellows? It's been a long time coming since I last posted a legit classic gameplay video, but nonetheless here it is, with a little twist which is quite interesting. So after the 4.1 patch and the subsequent many buffs in the following updates, the wizard has gone from the laughingstock of the game to quite possibly a viable option in a meta loadout strategy. And that loadout is as follows: wizard, farm, and ice. First off, this match you are watching right now is my second time ever trying out this strategy, and also the second time playing legitimately in high arenas in the past 5 weeks or so be warned of some massive rust to scrape off. If you're wondering why I said second and are curious as to what happened in the first game and why I'm not showing it, well, let's just say the ending was so ugly that I couldn't bring it to myself to show you guys. If you're really that curious, then feel free to check it out on Battles TV, although I recommend you bring some bleach before watching the replay. That's how disgusting it is. Anyways, if you saw this opponent's stats on the loading screen, it was pretty alright. I mean 65 wins to 2 losses. Nothing special, right guys? Back to the strategy at hand though. It's a fairly recent discovery, so it's possible not all the kinks have been worked out yet, but as of now I've heard it does just as well if not better than dart and farm, which is what my opponent is using right now. But of course there are quite a few weaknesses with this loadout. For one, you're almost bound to fall behind in farms in the early game because wizards are pretty expensive towers relative to the ones you would normally build to defend the first 5 rounds, like triple dart monkeys, double shot ninja, shit like that. You need to get the lightning wizard up at the beginning of round 4, otherwise pinks will completely wreck your ass, so that means you'll only be able to purchase 110 farm for the first minute and a half of the game. It does get a little better as the game goes on, and that will allow you to catch up in farms, I believe. In fact, I'm actually ahead of this guy by a slight margin right now. I'm just chilling with the 2 lightning wizards since he hasn't been sending me anything. Chances are he's probably seen this strategy before and knows mid-game rushes can't be defended adequately with wizards and ice. Lightning wizard spam is certainly a real thing to worry about in the mid-game if you plan on rushing them. Speaking of rushing, what perfect timing to see some combo ceramics coming our way. Since ice is useless versus combo, it's all up to the wizards to defend, and a fire breath mid should be just enough to survive against it with no lives lost. So that, guys, is what you do when someone tries to combo rush you. In the off chance someone decides to go super ballsy and allow $10,000 combo regrow rush you, it actually isn't a 100% death sentence. Combos are expensive as fuck to afford, so it's likely the opponent won't be able to send out very many of them. Add that to the fact that lightning wizard spam, as I previously mentioned, is super effective. Don't forget absolute zero could be used to stall the combos too, in case they come a little too fast for your liking. Now, I don't have any examples of all-out rushing wizards in this video, but trust me on that. Maybe I'll show it in a future one if I can bait out someone's rush. Anyways, what the hell do we do against a BFB? Well, absolute zero is a no-brainer since 50% slows are super OP. Then what's next is you get a Phoenix Wizard and use its now OP double damage to Moab's ability to break apart the BFB and Moab lair. Step number 3 is you die and lose the game, Kappa. Well, it's all part of the learning process of a new strategy, so despite the fail ending, I'm not too fazed by it. I guess neither Ice Shards nor Phoenix is reliable enough to clean up the ceramics left from the BFB. What I probably should have done was get up a second absolute zero to slow down the Moab children, then sell it and spam a bunch of Dragon's Breaths, or alternatively plop down a Tornado Wizard at the top, although that's probably even more unreliable than the other stuff I used to defend, so I guess the former was the correct choice. Kind of a shame though, that game was definitely winnable if I defended it properly, seeing as I was pretty far up in farms. Speaking of which, some of you may be curious as to why I went for a bank and not the usual factory. Well, the answer to that is the meta. I haven't tested it myself, but quite a few people are picking up on the monkey bank because it apparently gives you more leeway, and the lower cost means you won't get drained as much. For those new to Battles terminology, to be drained means to be forced to sell your farms to defend a rush, at which point the opponent can keep rushing you if you try to buy back your farms, since the money you lose from selling is greater than what they lose for sending. This is especially true with a factory. Cause if you sell that $20,000 tower, you're only going to be getting back $16K of that, and good luck getting it up again now that you've sold your entire income plus $4,000 down the drain. Alright, so back to these games. Unfortunately, this second one is pretty damn troll. I don't know what my opponent is doing by using up all 3 of his boosts by round 8. He actually is using the exact same loadout as me, but I definitely think it was by coincidence, and not because he knew this was a really good loadout, lol. FYI, while Wizard Ice and Farm has a lot of potential on many maps, Temple is certainly not one of them. Darts work better here because of the straight lines, and the map is too short that wizards get exposed a little harder in the early game, which you should have noticed if you saw me struggling with the blacks and shit. But early game is over, so let's focus on the present. My farm income is absolute shit, but that's because I wanted to play extra safe, but even with it I almost died cause ice shards aren't able to catch every single bloon going by without a monkey boost. So yeah kids, do not do this on Temple. I'm just trying it out for the sake of testing the strategy, no matter what map I end up getting. Okay, maybe I'd have a bit of an issue if this was on pools or hydro, but you know what I mean. I have one more game for you guys coming up, so while that goes on, let me just try to clear the queue and answer some questions, starting with some old ones. Was I ever discouraged when starting off my YouTube channel? Well, not necessarily when starting out, cause back then I didn't really set any goals for myself, so it didn't really put me off when I wasn't growing. But not gonna lie, right now it's pretty discouraging for me and a lot of the other big Bloons YouTubers, as everyone is trending downwards, with no relief in sight until BTD 6. It's a shame all the million sub plus YouTubers stopped uploading it save for off. I think that has a part in the decline in views. Next, will I be selling out due to the advertisement problems on YouTube? Not really, because the advertisement fiasco hasn't seemed to affect my monetization at all, but if you change the word advertisement to algorithm, then my answer changes to yes. One more question. I answered it before, but I will do it again cause I'm biased towards talking about topics like this. What's my rank and IGN in League? Check my League playlist if want to know my username, that or just hop on Discord and look at my profile. And rank, Gold Season 4, Diamond Season 5 and 6, haven't ranked on main this season yet but just hit Plat 2 on my Smurf recently. And no, you cannot add me, sorry buddy. Anyways, I'm feeling like a lazy sack of shit today, so I don't feel like finishing up the commentary. I will just end it with a few last words. Not as good as Ninja Farm Mortar, but Wizard and Ice is a pretty refreshing combo and could be fun to use depending on your taste, so try it out if you wish, although don't consider this video to be a legit guide. The first 4 games I'm playing with this are guaranteed to be pretty unpolished. Nonetheless, keep watching cause I don't plan to rush this guy, and I'm simply learning to defend with these towers at the moment, so hopefully he will deliver what I want. Likes, comments, the usual is appreciated. Have a magical and icy day.